Okay, I filmed a little blurb last night. Good morning, by the way, about the labor symptoms I was having and how I was like, I hope this isn't the start of my labor vlog, but I don't want to miss it if it is. So I took the video, but thankfully not the case. This morning, I am exhausted. I was up from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. just cuz last night. Like, no contractions, just cuz. My stomach did hurt. Like, my physical stomach hurt. I'm exhausted. I tried to sleep in today. We slept in a little bit. Gabriel wasn't feeling well this morning. He's thrown up twice, but now he's totally fine and playing cars with Azariah. He does this sometimes. Usually after the one time that he throws up, he's fine. I don't know. He took a shower and had juice and had breakfast because normally he can eat just fine afterwards. And he threw up the second time and then immediately started eating again. And I was like, dude, whatever. He seemed fine now, so I'm just letting it ride. He's got water. He's got juice. He was cold, so I put clothes on him. It's a morning. So I'm sitting in the room right now because I'm going to work through getting as much stuff done as I can, room by room today. But I really just want to take a nap. So I'll probably be taking a nap at some point. But Gabriel really wants to bring his dad coffee today. And we're going to go get groceries later tonight. But I was like, you know, maybe it's worth it. So we might go do a coffee break with Dad at some point this afternoon. He has to get back to me on when's the best time to go. I just loaded the dishwasher a little bit earlier with a bunch of dishes, including a bunch of party dishes. So I'm going to start in here cleaning and getting stuff off my list. See how far we can get before I need to make lunch, because after they had breakfast, they demanded more food, and I was like, no, you've had plenty of food. If you overeat, you're gonna get sick again. And we're gonna have lunch in like an hour, which would normally be like snack, but whatever. I'm trying to get back on schedule a little bit. And I just need a reset day, but it's Monday, and that's just not how it works, so it's what it is. It's what happens. It's my own fault. Got lots to do. But we had a great party yesterday. Foot keeps getting swollen. Granted, I keep folding it under my body, but I don't know why it's just my right foot. And then it goes away. I have an appointment in 2 days, so I'm looking forward to that because my right foot keeps swelling randomly. Maybe I just need more water. Probably just need more water. And my left middle toe feels like it's broken. I'm falling apart today. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Less than 2 weeks, and everything will basically be done, and I'll just be chilling out, so we'll get through it one day at a time. Do our best to make today a good one. I'm on my way to an appointment that I scheduled for today because my midwife happened to have a slow day with extra openings. And I need it. I need them to tell me everything is fine. And I just want to feel better. So we're doing that. My mom's watching the kids. And when I get back on track, just let some things go. It's gonna be good. Good morning, everybody. We had a long night. My hair is braided because I took a shower at 2:30 in the morning. So I had a lot of contractions last night. But we're here this morning because everything stopped eventually. And I was able to go back to bed, which is nice, except I'm still exhausted. So we're gonna see what we can get done today before our first day of soccer. Okay, we finished breakfast. Boys are trying to wash their hands, more or less. Can you see how, super tired I am? My hair is all crazy from tossing and turning, but it's fine. So as soon as the boys get themselves clean, I'm gonna run downstairs, grab some stuff out of the dryer that I cleaned yesterday. Go to the boys' room with my shampoo bag and shampoo their floors, because I've been meaning to get that done. Then, as long as they're occupied, I'm gonna not lock myself, but shut myself in my room to get stuff done that I need done in there. September's bump box is here, and Gabriel is helping me open it. Ho ho ho! A ready blend tea. I want to know what's in here. They're bags, which is nice. It says Love Lines, Stretch Mark, and Scar Balm. Nice. This is peppermint, cinnamon, and ginger root tea. Nice. This is a bottle brush, adjustable handle. Gabriel's excited about that one. Oh, cute. A little hat, a Perry bottle. I have 2, I think, already, but I got rid of them. So I was like, they can collect germs and you get a new one, and I've just used the regular one every time. Ooh, this is a reusable, soothing perineal hot and cold pad. Interesting. Never used one of these before. Might be worth a shot. And then here's what this looks like. It's all purple themed. I love it. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's cool. Oh, so this talks about everything. I didn't ever realize this. This talks about everything in here that they put in here. And it tells you what it is, why they put it in there, and the retail value. Very nice. I never noticed this before. I've been getting them for how many months and I never noticed them before. That was our September bump box. Good afternoon, everybody. It is nap time, so it's like 3:30 almost. Gabriel and I are hanging out, trying to get work done. It is time for the 37-week update. As you will see earlier in this video, I had a couple of nights last week. One for sure where I was like, I am going in tonight. It's happening tonight. And then it didn't, and I went back to bed. Okay, whatever you say. And now I've had like 2 nights in a row where I haven't felt like I was going into labor, and I feel fabulous at the moment. Last night in the evening though, I did have a lot of contractions that were super uncomfortable, especially when I was like driving home from my parents. I think the thing that I even need to rewire for myself is that I am going to keep having this until the baby comes. Probably almost every day, because your body prepares for labor in like stages, and slowly but surely you get there, but your uterus needs the opportunity to practice. And some people can say like, I never felt a single contraction before I started labor or whatever. There's this whole conversation about like fake contractions, also known as like Braxton Hicks, versus like real contractions. And I just really hate that, because when it comes down to it, all contractions are real. They're really doing real work for your body. The only difference is where they lead. So what we like to call fake contractions or Braxton Hicks, which I hate all of those terms because they like diminish the value of those contractions. Those contractions are super valuable. If you're not a first-time mom, especially, and you aren't having any Braxton Hicks or fake contractions or practice contractions or whatever you want to call them, your body is probably telling you it's not ready to have a baby yet. So then if you were to go in and induced after not having a lot of that, you're probably more than likely, statistically, not 100% of the time, most of the time, gonna have a harder, longer labor because your body wasn't ready. You're probably gonna have more interventions. You're probably going to have a lot more, if it's not for a health reason that you're induced, like a significant health reason like preeclampsia or something like that, you are just induced because, it's 39 weeks, it's 40 weeks, and you are not effaced and you're not dilated, so let's get you going, right? You're at the end. Sure, I get it. I don't want to be uncomfortable either. However, probably going to have a worse labor experience overall. For some people, that doesn't matter. It's probably going to be a less safe labor. Depending upon, again, your provider, the situation, and everything like that. So when we talk about contractions, they're all real because they're all important and they're all necessary, and not having them isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it just indicates different things. And being aware of what it indicates helps us to understand our bodies better, which is really important when we talk about pregnancy and labor. But one of the interesting things about pregnancy is you have contractions from the minute you get pregnant because your uterus is using a contraction to expand itself and grow within your body. And then at a certain point, it doesn't necessarily stop growing. For some people it does. It's like a whole thing. But the contractions change from the purpose of expanding your uterus and growing to the purpose of exercising your muscles so that they have the strength to push, to bear down, to deliver your baby safely through the birth canal. This is just fact, right? Like, this is just fact. And if you don't believe me, go and look at, like, what do contractions do? What is the point of Braxton Hicks? Like, look up any of those things and you'll probably find the same information because this is exactly what it is. But this is what contractions, like, do for our bodies. And so the point of this is, I know, and I have to remind myself when I'm framing these nights of, like, really uncomfortable contractions, is that it's going to keep happening, but I'm not going to go into labor until my body is ready and my baby is ready. And when that happens, it'll be like, I will know. And that's what I keep having to tell myself, because I think the mistake I made with my second was being like, oh, I meet all the qualifications, I should go in. And so she checked me and was like, yeah, whatever. And my labor did progress, but then it ended up stopping. And I had a lot of I could have made different choices. I loved it, but I could have made different choices and loved it more. So this time, because I have a vision for what I would love to do, barring emergencies, I want to encourage that by not letting myself go into this, oh, it might be tonight. Sure, it might be tonight. It might be any night. But more of just, these are practice. This is something my body needs to do. And if it turns out it feels like more than that, great, we're ready. My body is ready. And then not doing things to increase that chance. Like, I'm not trying to put myself into labor, okay? A couple of things to keep in mind. Additionally, with both of my kids, I was partially dilated and effaced before going into labor, right around the 4 or 5 centimeters when I was either induced or went into labor. And effacement was between 75 for Gabriel, and I think it was like almost a 90 for Azariah. And I still probably could have gone weeks with both of them if there weren't reasons that, we moved forward. Like, my body probably would have held out, keeping and doing the thing that it was doing. So this time, I fully anticipate to have dilated and effaced before my baby is born. And these contractions are doing that. So it's not all work that I have to do when I am in this stage of labor that actually gets me to meeting my baby, in that session, if that makes sense. I think we need some better terminology kind of surrounding all of this, and maybe it's out there and I just haven't found it yet, but bear with me as I'm trying to explain. So anyway, that was my biggest thing last week, and I had my 36-week appointment on Monday. It was supposed to be on Tuesday, but on Monday I had swelling in just my right foot. I was feeling really off and just icky. And so I Googled it. I never should have Googled it. I shouldn't have, because it immediately comes up with deep vein thrombosis. And I'm like, so I'm dying. What if I'm dying? I drove for an hour and a half. What if I'm dying? So I called my midwife and she's like, it's okay. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Do these couple things. She was like, just drink a couple, you're probably really, really dehydrated. Drink a couple things of electrolytes. You may just have some minor swelling. But I think I panicked because it pulled me back to when I had preeclampsia with Gabriel, and that just, it got me, it wasn't necessarily scary. It was more of just like, I spiraled on it. And then there was this possibility of deep vein thrombosis, and I was like, great, I'm going to die. So I went to my appointment that day because I was like, you know what? If you have time today to get me in, I would just feel so much better. And I just didn't feel right. And I called my mom, and I was like, what do you think? And she's like, if you don't feel right, call. Like, just ask. Don't waste your time. This is what you pay them for. And I was like, I know, but I still feel bad. So anyway, went to the appointment. Everything was good. We decided we're going to take labs at the 37-week appointment, which will be on Tuesday of next week. And, really just had a very low-key appointment, stress-free. She took my blood pressure, which was amazing. And all the other stuff, offered me an exam. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing anything to irritate this baby further. And it was really good overall. However, I was measuring at 40 centimeters instead of 36 and a half or almost 37 centimeters in terms of fundal height. So she basically said with that, if I measure big at my next appointment, then they'll probably send me in for an ultrasound just to check and make sure that I don't have a lot of extra amniotic fluid, because it could potentially, it increases the risks of cord prolapse, or it makes it more difficult for your baby to put pressure on your cervix because there's just a lot more fluid in there. I don't think this baby's having a problem putting pressure on my cervix, but what do I know? We'll see if I measure big at my next appointment, but if I don't, she's like, sometimes you just have one big measurement and that's what it is. And you're bloated, you have water retention, whatever, on top of being super pregnant. Or maybe, your baby's just in a certain spot. Although it was funny because at that appointment, she was like, oh yeah, your baby's back is over here and their feet are over here and their head down, way down there. They're in the perfect position for labor. So, we're getting closer. And I'm like, to me, that sounds like, I think you're going to have your baby sooner than later. And I don't like that. I am putting that interpretation as my own, but it was just funny because I was like, of course. But I think I have to stop telling my friends when these things happen, because I just don't think that none of them have had kids. And my sister is pregnant but hasn't had any kids yet. So today when I was talking to her about contractions, she's like, so I take it baby didn't come? And I was like, no. Why do you ask? And she's like, well, a couple days ago you said you were laboring. And I was like, well, yeah, because I was laboring for 3 hours and then it stopped. That happens. And she was like, I didn't think that could happen. And I was like, I am so sorry you haven't had this education yet. But then, so I was kind of going through and explaining to her, and I was like, well, because you're 24 weeks-ish, somewhere in there, I was like, you know, they probably haven't gone through to explain this yet, because a lot of first-time moms don't really feel the contractions that they are having until they get into that third trimester. Whereas like with my second, at 16 weeks, they were like, yeah, so do you feel contractions yet? And I was like, yeah, what's with that? And then they explained the whole process of like, you know, your uterus is expanding and we use the contractions and your body's more efficient with it now that you've already had a kid, so blah, 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 blah. I would also like to state that some people do not dilate or efface before they go into their they go into labor where they end up having their baby, but they will still have contractions because that's not what their body is trying to accomplish at that time. It's practicing for other reasons. Just to be clear. I know not everyone has that same experience, so just so we know. Now that my rant is done, educational content, that's pretty much how the last week has gone for me. We've had a lot of like other stuff going on, so I've just been like, but I'm feeling a lot better today. I wanted to take a nap this afternoon, but Gabriel said no. And then I got up because I had to do a couple things before I could actually take a nap. And then by that point in time, I was awake and it was like, I rested. I just didn't take a nap. It was still useful. I am going to go probably drink some more water and have peanut butter and chocolate because it sounds like a great snack. But yeah, it's pretty much the update. I feel like the overalls really make me look pointy, which is just funny to me. Bump shape's just different this week.
Love, Genevieve.